Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I am playing with watercolors and making a really fun washed backdrop to my collage there on the front of my card. And I'm also going to be working with some Savvy Stamps dies. I love this little Polaroid frame and the sweet little flower that they just came out with. And I'm going to start by taking the Koi Watercolors Pocket Field Box. It has a palette already built into it, and I've misplaced my water brush that came with the kit, but it's okay because I'm using a big flat brush from my set of studio brushes, and it's a nice set of 7 brushes, and there's one or two flat brushes in there that you can use for creating these nice washes. And I actually took the wet brush and loaded it with color from the palette, and then I transferred that to the little mixing tray there and then added more water to dilute it and get the color I was looking for. So after I started my little puddle of yellow there, and I'm just kind of plopping the color around, I decided I wanted to add another color. And so I took some red and diluted that down until it was kind of a pink color. And then together they're going to kind of turn kind of slightly apricot-ish and blend together. And of course I couldn't, just leave it alone. I had to kind of blend it out just a little bit more. So you can do that until you like what you get, but if you keep blending and mixing too much, you're going to end up with just muddy color. So you do want to be mindful of that. And then you can go ahead if you want to and dry it with a heat tool to speed it up and to push the color around and create these interesting textures as the paint starts to dry. Now, I do not recommend taping your watercolor paper down onto a cutting mat because your heat gun will start to warp the cutting mat. Ask me how I know. So get yourself a cutting board or something like that instead of a cutting mat, and you'll be all good to go. Now, I took the little Polaroid frame and put a glue dot on the back, and then I'm just going to make a little messy nest of metallic thread. I love the look of this, and it's just kind of one of my favorite ways to embellish my cards lately. So the easiest way to do it is to just mash that messy wad of thread right into the glue dot, and then you can futz with it a little bit until you like it. And then I added a couple more glue dots on the back of that Polaroid frame. I'm going to go ahead and mount that. And that was die cut from some basic gray paper. That's from the Highline collection. That's the 6x6 pad. Those glue dots are really sticky, so it's kind of sticking to me there. And so I've got that flush mounted onto the watercolor panel, and then I'm going to staple that flower die right over the top. And I just cut it from white cardstock. I think it's such a fresh look to not even cut it from colored cardstock, just cut it from some white. I used the Marshmallow Card Shop cardstock because I like how heavyweight it is and it's just slightly off-white. And I'm going to take another little strip of pattern paper from that 6x6 pad and just make a little, kind of a little flag there. And I'll go ahead and secure that with the tiny attacher as well. I just like that look. It's fun, and I love my tiny attacher so much. And I'm going to mount this to the card front with some really strong adhesive because just in case it's warped, I don't want it kind of bubbling and buckling up. So I'm going to get that coated with some Be Creative tape and then peel away the center pieces, the liner paper there, and then I'm going to partially peel away the liner paper on the perimeter. And I'm going to fold it back, kind of crease it and fold it back like that, but I'm not going to remove it all the way. Now, the reason for that is that these little liner papers kind of act as little handles, and it prevents me from permanently mounting that panel onto the card front until I'm sure I have it exactly where I want it. So it gives me some, room to futz with it a little bit. And by golly, my card was actually upside down, and it was really a good thing that I used this method to mount this panel. Otherwise, my finished card would have been upside down, and I'd have been crying. So anyway, now I can kind of press firmly and anchor it down, and then I can go around the perimeter and just pull all those little liner papers right out. So I'm just going to grab the first one, and then I can press down on that edge there and then pull the next one out and just keep going all the way around till I have everything anchored down completely all the way around. And man, I tell you, I'm so glad I did it that way. Now, to put a sentiment on there, I decided to borrow this little hello. I think this is from Lanfon's Hello Baby. And it's such a sweet set, but I wanted that hello because the font was going to be perfect for kind of a Dymo label effect that I wanted for the greeting on this. So I'm just going to white emboss it onto some black cardstock using a Hero Arts white embossing powder because it's a nice bright white. And then I'll just go ahead and heat that very quickly. And then I can just trim it out with my scissors. I could use my paper trimmer, but honestly, I didn't care if it was absolutely perfect. I don't mind the little, a little bit of uneven edges. I think it just kind of adds to the charm of this particular card. So we'll put some foam tape on the back of that. And that's the only piece that's actually popped up. The rest of it is all flush mounted to the card. And then to finish it off, I'm going to take some black enamel dots. Now these are from a My Mind's Eye collection, and we don't have it anymore, but there's black enamel dots in the shop by Studio Calico and by Doodlebug Designs, and they work all the same. They're self-adhesive, and they look so cute, I think, and just really help that whole collage just pop. Thanks for watching.